When I was shielding, I made a paper lemon tree in my front room, since this was the only place I was allowed to be. And I used the only material I had, scraps of paper and leftover packaging. I wanted to breathe some life into the world, at a time when death felt much too close. So I attached a tree's worth of leaves onto my paper stalks. I made luscious curving lemons bulge out from the paper beneath. To underline how isolated I felt, I placed my lemon tree far, far away down a deep perspective tunnel. Then the intoxicating fragrance from real blossoms on my real lemon tree interrupted me. Baby lemons started to grow. Then more blossoms and more lemons. It's the 12th of September 2020, and here, right now, are the next crop of blossoms and baby lemons starting to grow on my lemon tree. For me, it's proof that even amongst the worst community massacres, there is hope in nature. But even lovely lemons are not perfect. In 1747, James Lind found that lemons and limes could cure scurvy. This made the colonizing voyages of Europeans to Asia and Africa possible. So lemons supported the horror of slavery. I do know another more positive link between citrus and slavery. Joseph Sturge, the famous Quaker abolitionist, wanted to prove that plantations could work slavery-free. He bought land on the Caribbean island of Montserrat, and his family set up a lime forest there. I discovered and transcribed some of Sturge's family papers and sent them back to Montserrat. Forests connect through the wood wide web, and I've been somehow sucked into that, making more links with and between trees. The Persian oak, Quercus brantii, covers large parts of the Zagros Mountains in southwest Iran. Balut is the local name, and these trees make up 40% of Iran's forests. They contribute 50% of Iran's drinking water. Persian oaks underpin a complex local ecology, now substantially degraded. There used to be Asiatic lions here. Local leopards are seriously endangered, and the index species here is now the Persian squirrel. Oak wood was used in many household goods. Oaks were made into medicine for humans and for animals. And the huge fluffy acorns were ground down for famine food. Now, illegal logging goes unpunished as 400-year-old trees are chopped down for charcoal. The ongoing droughts and local dust storms stress the trees, and more are falling victim to charcoal black fungal disease. This year, the forest fires in the Zagros Mountains were even worse than usual. There's no help from the government. High up in inaccessible areas, mountaineers try to put out fires by hand. 16,000 hectares have been lost to fire. Overall, 1/6 of the Zagros forests is lost. English oaks are probably even more entrenched in English folklore and history than Persian oaks are in southwest Iran. Quercus robur is England's national tree, and there are more ancient oaks in England than in the whole of the rest of Europe. 3,400 oaks date from medieval or Tudor times, or even earlier. This huge number follows on the 1066 conquest of William the Conqueror. When he took control over all the land in England, he wanted to make deer parks for himself and his nobles to hunt in. Oak trees were a key part of those deer parks. Oaken ships were used for slaving and to protect the slaving fleets, since before the 19th century, Royal Navy ships were all made from oak. These ships have been called the wooden walls of Old England. Eventually, after the Slave Trade Act of 1843, the oak Royal Navy ships were used to suppress the international slave trade.